This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Hello, folks. How you going? Don't you hate that when the last 2 seconds of the intro goes and you think, shit, I forgot to bring in a few things. Not helpful tonight. I'm sorry about that. So my background seems to be phasing a little bit tonight. That's probably got something to do with my microphone. Let me adjust that a little bit. And my seat. Not much I can do about it at the moment, folks. There will be a few changes in the background in the not-too-distant future because... if you haven't picked it up already, we have to be out of here. And thankfully, we found a place with a friend who happens to have a couple of rooms available. So that'll give us a base to work out of that's not too far from here. And I'm going to be spending most of my time on the road, but it's certainly good for my daughter. So thank you for everybody's good wishes and concerns about that in the past. We really appreciate it. And I can't go talking about it too much, or we're never going to get through this show. So, yeah, there'll be some changes happening soon with that. So that's all I can tell you about that. A little more housekeeping to get underway with. You will, of course, remember this bloke. Well, maybe you won't. Oh, he's up in the wrong corner. I'm showing the wrong one. Hang on a minute here. Let me see if I can bring this one up. All going well tonight, isn't it? All right, let's see if I can bring that one up. Isn't that interesting? I seem to be having trouble bringing up my graphics this evening. Oh, no, there it is. All right, that one's finally woken up. What about this one? Ah, there you go. All right, so that's our Magna Carta 1215 night. We have made an executive decision and settled on the name collectively of Knights of Terra Australis. There will be news on how you become a Knight of Terra Australis in the not-too-distant future. I have stickers of this very thing that you see on the screen, and that's one of the things I was going to bring in. Maybe I'll turn myself off here. Well, maybe you can still hear me. Maybe you can't. I hope you can. Got stickers of these, great car size back window bumper stickers. So you'll be able to grab those at a show, or once the new website is coming on, then you'll be able to buy them there as well. T-shirts, of course. T-shirts going to a point. Our Magna Carta T-shirts are a work in progress is the best way of describing that at the moment. That's simply because we're getting some quotes done on double-sided printing and a few other bits and pieces. So if you want one, by all means, email me, voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com, and we will put your name down and figure out a way of payment at some stage in the not-too-distant future. I was sort of hoping the website would be up by now, because there is a facility through there where you'll be able to do it securely. But it's unfortunately not up yet, so I might have to do it the old-fashioned way yet. Trying to avoid that at all costs if I can. Now, some interesting news today. I received an email. In fact, I received the email a few days ago, so I'd like to apologize to Vasily, who sent it to me. He received an email which was... well, not an email. It was addressed mail to him at his home address. And it purported to be a survey for the state government of Victoria. Now, we just have to have a little bit of a think about whether or not there is... Please just excuse me for one moment. I don't know if there is any identifying information. Before I loaded it into the system, I didn't look to see if there was anything particularly identifying in the graphic I want to show you outside Vasily's name. And it doesn't look like there is. So, okay, now I feel better. I will the mail that Vasily received. Now it says, today, more than ever, it is key that we ensure that the media and politicians understand the views of real Victorians. You have been selected to participate in a study of Victorian voters. Completing this survey, which shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, will help us understand your views on issues important to your community. In order to participate, please complete the following survey by either entering the link in a web browser or by scanning the QR code below using your smartphone camera. Now, by completing this survey, you will be eligible, not you will get, but you will be eligible for a $5 gift card. Now, I can tell you that the way that's worded in competition speak means whoever is running this has a $5 gift card to give away, and they might get 100,000 people thinking, oh, that's great, we're all getting a gift card, because it's worded, unless you really understand the word eligible, it's worded that way. So thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing your response. Your participation is vital. Now, apparently, it's subject to additional terms and conditions. Respondents have got to be over 18 years of age, enrolled to vote to complete the survey. Receiving the reward requires an active email account and completion of the entire survey. So the rules are pretty easy, and you would think to yourself, oh, okay, well, that's something to do with the state government. But Vasily got quite smart, and he did a little bit of a backtrack. He sort of wanted to find out which government department was doing this, and he followed the links through that magnificent document, and it led him to discover that the entire thing is being run out of a building not all that far from where he happens to live. And let me just see. Oops, hang on a second. Let me just see here if I can bring that up here for you to have a look at. This is the magnificent building that this bloke is in, Marina Tower. Now, Marina Tower in Melbourne is in the Docklands precinct, an absolutely beautiful part of Melbourne, in the newer part. And whoever is running this interesting survey has rented this apartment. Now, staying there quite happily. Looks like a possibly one bedroom, I think. I don't think it's two. I will have a look in a minute. Very nice toilet shower, doesn't it? Very pretty. And a lovely kitchen. Room for the fridge there somewhere too. Oh, of course, nice place to relax while he's reading, or she is reading, your replies to the survey. Might be able to get a few laps in once you've made them sweat. Oh, no, that's where they go to sweat. Don't suppose they'll be reading too many of your replies in that magnificent little gym. Well, little's not really the word, is it? Well, maybe they can discuss what you've been sending back in your replies while they're having a beer and a game of pool. Or a nice place to present presentations if you've got a whole group of people who may be working in this endeavour. Seems like a lovely area to get together and mingle, congregate, feast, and explain what's going on in the world. Certainly got some conference areas there that are available, and some lovely outdoor areas too, by the look of it. Absolutely spectacular building, this one, don't you think? So that is Marina Tower in Melbourne. So you can go and check that out there on Ironfish. That'll be absolutely spectacular. Let me come back here. Now let's just have a look at the plot of the place. Yeah, okay. So it's definitely a one bedder. Nice little place to work out of. Good little office, and well, the whole plan's available online there, and certainly available for rent. Now, why, you would ask yourself, with the Victorian government, or at least something pertaining to be, or at least maybe not pertaining to be. Let's have another reread of the thing. Today, more than ever, it is key that we ensure that the media and politicians understand the views of real Victorians. Okay, good. You have been selected to participate. And so was Vasily, very interested in knowing how he was selected to participate. Because this leads to the interesting question, folks. If it was a state-run thing, a government-run thing, you would think it would be traceable, and it would be through the state government websites. They are currently running no such survey. This has been checked. Vasily is not a silly man. Oh, Vasily Vasiliki, maybe. I'm saying it wrong. I beg your pardon. Now, if you were a person, and I happen to know from the email that this was attached to, that this particular person does enjoy our side of the fence, does enjoy experiencing and, in fact, analyzing conspiracies. I'm not going to say he's a conspiracy theorist, because I like to think that he's a lot like me, and we like to call ourselves conspiracy analysts. Now, you can figure out the difference for yourself, and if you can't, then there's probably a problem when you're watching the wrong channel. At any rate, if you were a company or an interested group who wanted to find out more about the feelings of people with our kind of mentality, our kind of suspicions towards media, politicians, and government, how would they identify you? How would they find to send you personally in your mailbox, personally addressed? How do they get that level of detail? Now, that is something I am particularly interested in finding out, because I think there's probably only very few places that you would be able to gain that kind of information. Most of them, I suspect, would be government related. That's just the way I'm thinking about it. So if anybody's got anything different to say there, now is the time to say it. I'm going to swing down here and have a bit of a look at the chat room, find out what trolls are in there tonight that we can just ban. I'm not going to bother talking to them tonight. Hello, everybody in Melbourne, Tasmania, Adelaide. Suan, I saw you up there before saying hi. Paul's back. Good to see you, mate. Galactic Larrikins are in town tonight. I like the sound of that. I'm gathering that that's Bradford, who's managed to get home and back to Canberra okay. Fingers crossed for that. Imala, hi to you. Knights of Terror Australis. That's exactly what we are collectively going to be known as. But you will have to qualify. No, we're not going to make you joust, but there is a qualification process, because we do take this rather seriously. I mean, anybody can have a Magna Carta sticker, but there'll be very few people, well, not very few, hopefully there'll be every one of you will be admitted to a, if you like, a members-only site that will be for Knights of Terra Australis. And to get the membership access to that, you will have to qualify. And that doesn't mean you're going to have to pay any money or anything like that. There's nothing to do with that. This is all about your intention. So we're about creating an army, folks, and it's a peaceful one. So really look forward to hoping that you're going to be involved with that and become a Knight of Terra Australis. And I can tell you, there's T-shirts in the works for that already. Well, we've got to fund it somehow, folks. I have had some extremely generous people who have funded much of what has happened in the last 5 weeks, except for the week where I was sick. I don't think they funded any of that. But to enable me to get some equipment, I mean, including this wholly useless piece of shit from Telstra that costs a fortune and gets very hot and turns itself off. But streaming equipment, cameras. When we go to Singleton, you'll see some new stuff. And I'm just trying to write a little note to myself to remind you to tell you about Wallangarra. Remind me to tell you about Wallangarra. So yeah, so thankfully, or not thankfully, but the cash has only gone so far. We've had to fund these T-shirts, and because I don't know what I'm doing, I've probably done it the wrong way, and I've probably paid more than I should have. But at any rate, it is what it is, first time round, and not in the business to make money, but not in the business to go broke. So we're just trying to figure out exactly now how best to give you access to them. As I said, I did hope the website would be up by now with a bit of a secure shop facility, if you like, in it, where you could just click out, do your order, we'll figure it out and send it to you. The website, unfortunately, isn't up yet, but will happen in the coming days. The bloke working on it now is working on it like a Trojan. He's an absolute legend. And hopefully, within a week or two, we'll have something sorted out. What else do I have to tell you in cleaning up things? Have you happened to see what Australian universities are doing? They have gone so woke, it is absolutely crazy. Now they are advertising for women-only positions in some of the highest science areas that we have, astrophysics and, all this research, kind of dark matter research, all that sort of stuff. But you can only apply for it if you are a woman. So this is this positive discrimination that has been introduced now back from, I think, the 90s and moved forward. It's now the kids who were ensconced with it in the 90s are now going to or lecturing in universities, and they think positive discrimination is just okay. I can't believe that sort of thing is happening in our universities, or that the woke people running them think that it's just fine and you can push on regardless. However, having never been to a university other than to talk or to pick people up, certainly never been there to study, then could be termed as not having the vaguest idea of what I'm talking about. So be careful on that one. What else have I written down here? Deaths in the UK. Right. So deaths in the UK are going through the roof, folks. There are significant lifts across the board, but predominantly in the 40-plus age group. There have been a lot of younger age group deaths. And when I say younger, I'm talking teenager to mid-20s. Been a heap of those. Now, the UK are ahead of us in their acceptance, if you like, of this horrible thing that we're going through at the moment. I'm trying to think what name Fitz gave for it the other day. It wasn't the slimy jab. Fitz, if you're watching, send me a text and let me know what it was. I've forgotten. But at any rate, the jabby jab, been a huge acceptance there. And now we are starting to see, although not in the public domain, lifts, extremely high lifts in death rates. Now, there's been a lot of talk about people taking Sunday drives on any day of the week and going and checking out their local cemetery, having a bit of a wander around and seeing how many new graves there are. And that's well and good. If you are interested in doing that and want to let us know, I think that would be amazing. We can create some sort of a little map and get a baseline, and maybe every couple of months we swing past and have another count. I think it's a great way of watching what's happening in our own cemeteries. We would also need to check out the crematorial walls, the walls of remembrance and that sort of thing. Many people put their loved ones in an urn and put the urn in a wall, or plant a flower in their name, or whatever. We'd be looking for fresh, if you like, roses or fresh cement work that they've put these urns into. Another way of counting. And of course, a lot of people, and my mum included, keeps dad at home in an urn. So we would never know. And if there are many people who are doing that, keeping their loved ones at home, then that's never going to help us with the count, unless they happen to be awake and are happy to share that knowledge with us, and we can add those totals to our overall total. It'll be an interesting exercise to see whether or not we get much reaction to that. voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com if you want to start doing that. If you'd like to register yourself as someone who might go for a drive to your local cemetery one day. And, I understand in the big cities, those cemeteries are absolutely huge. But, you don't have to go through the whole thing in a day. Sector by sector, mark off the bits you want to do, go for a walk on a nice day. If you can help, that'd be great. I just think it would be interesting. Nobody else is going to tell us. We're going to have to get out and do it ourselves, and I can't get to every cemetery in the country. You can, though. You can probably drive past one every day and, do it 2 rows at a time. I don't know. Have a bit of a glance, see what you can see. It would prove to be quite interesting, and I think this could be quite a successful way of us gaining some intelligence on the ground, if you like, or in the ground, if you like. I'm just having a bit of a scan now, just down, seeing what questions there are. Okay, is the QR code the new Vic government company heading? No, I do not believe it has anything to do, at least directly, with the state government. But there is certainly somebody funding it, and what a great way of getting intel on your enemy, if you like, the people that they're fighting against and trying to make laws against, so that we can't speak our truth because it goes against what the government says. Ever read 1984, anyone? Then that's what this is all about. So, yeah, eyes open, eyes open, eyes open. The electoral roll, no, doesn't seem to be anything to do with an official, in any kind of official capacity. If it was an electoral roll thing, wouldn't it be set up in an AEC office rather than in a luxury 1-bedroom apartment in Melbourne's Docklands? That would be, interesting. Osaka. Okay. Monkey Works is talking about chemtrails and specifically in Australia today. How interesting. I have the reason there was no show last night, folks, is because I had to go to the Gold Coast yesterday. I picked up some T-shirts. I saw my mum, and I caught up with a couple of guys who do nothing but track aircraft all day. And they know exactly which aircraft are flying where, when, and how, who owns those aircraft and how many there are from all over the place. Now, staggering detail. And I made the mistake last night of asking one of them to just send it to me in the email. I have, from him alone, nearly 100 emails with images that will show you exactly where these aircraft are flying from, where they're flying to, what they're doing when they get there, and where they fly off to once they're done. And I can tell you, it is a very intricate little pattern that is building. I haven't had time to look through them all yet. I spent some time with the guys yesterday and then had to deal with Gold Coast to Sunshine Coast traffic in peak hour with some idiot who couldn't drive. Remember that thing about dickheads on the road, folks? Met a couple of them last night. So, yeah, we didn't get home until, after 8, nearly 8:30. So, and I was in no mood to do anything by that stage. So I do apologise for last night, but I can just say it wasn't a day wasted. The intelligence that's come out of this intel dump, if you like, is amazing. The fact is, some of these aircraft fly out of Victoria and fly to Townsville and spray, turn around and fly back to Victoria. Some aircraft take off out of Townsville, fly down to southwestern New South Wales, spray down there, fly back. Some take off out of Bundaberg, fly out inland, go and spray there and come back. They don't, fly out of Bundaberg, fly around Bundaberg and land back in Bundaberg. There are aircraft that are taking off out of Hervey Bay and flying south over the Downs, even down into western and far western New South Wales, flying, doing whatever they're doing and coming back. And they tell an interesting story where they were tracking one of these aircraft one day, and they know the owners of the aircraft. They know the company flying the aircraft, and they had the company phone number. So they thought they'd give it a call. And they rang the company and they said, "Oh, look, we're tracking your aircraft with tail number da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We've been watching him for a while. He's flown from Victoria up, over New South Wales up to Queensland, and he's got there to Townsville, and we're just wondering whether or not he got drunk." And the fella said, like, what do you mean? What's going on? He said, "Oh, well, he's got to Townsville." And all of a sudden he's starting doing all these squirrely lines, back and forth, roundabout circles all over the place. Well, just wondering if there's a problem. And the fellow was trying to say, "Oh, no, well, there's nothing wrong with us flying. We can fly anywhere we like," and da-da-da-da-da-da. And when he started talking about him flying around in circles and doing these strange little patterns and wondering if he was drunk, wanted to make sure that he was all right and should we be reporting this to the authorities. They were watching in real time, and this aircraft stopped what it was doing, did a U-turn, and started flying back to where it came from. So don't tell me that people action doesn't have an effect. Now, I will do a show all about that once I've got my head around it and I've got some order to show these images in, because there is a flood of images, and I can't thank the guys enough. But speaking of floods of images, let me remove my head here for a moment. I've been getting a heap. This one's from Warilla in New South Wales. Now, that was taken on July 25. That's a little while ago. This is Bendalong Point and Lake Congela. This was only a couple of nights ago at about 5:30, 5:45 at night. And if you can, I'm not sure if you can see, but it is at very high altitude and could maybe possibly be a contrail. We can have a look at another one taken from, no, I beg your pardon, that one too. Now, this, of course, is looking through the haze, but that is at extremely high altitude. And this is taken from Wallangarra. Is that how you say it? Somewhere around Sussex Inlet, I think that is in New South Wales, over Lake Conjola. And there's another one. So there are those. But then this is over St George's Basin and Sussex Point the next day, the next morning. So you can see there are some straight lines there in the background, but these wispy clouds, that's something to keep a bit of an eye on. The very high wispy cloud that's all starting to mingle together, join together and starting to form up. I would be very surprised if there weren't storms in there in the following days. And that's it mixing in the sky. You can see it just sitting there mixing in the sky. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I'm just sucking in another one I want to show you. You can see there, that's continuing with the mixing. Just want to remove that for a sec. This is Nowra in New South Wales, and this is on June 26th. That one, well, that's pretty heavy, and you can see that they're starting to do the cross pattern there. That's at top ride, that one too, and that was only on the 22nd of August. I've got a whole heap of new stuff coming from very recently, the last couple of days. So people, thank you for sending all this in. We're just keeping a bit of a plot on where they're going, what they're doing. And look, some of them are bound to be contrails eventually, but contrails only happen in certain conditions, and they can be identified. It's not the world's most difficult thing. So, yeah, that's something interesting. I'm just trying to see whether or not this last photo is going to upload, and it is. This photo arrived a couple of days ago, but I've only just discovered it in the email. I'm sorry, it's taken me a while to dig through the emails, folks. Now, that is a very fine powder. And this image was taken in Sunbury in Victoria, and only a few days ago. This stuff was falling from the sky everywhere. Got it on cars, roofs, windows. This was at his back door, around his back door. I have asked whether or not he kept a sample of this, and if he has, then to send it to me so we can ask a chemist to have a look and try and tell us what the hell is in that. But if you are in the Sunbury area. That's area north of Melbourne, Gisborne, where they're doing the block at the moment. That's around that way. Macedon. I would suggest places like Bacchus Marsh, Ballarat, across the top of Melbourne. Oh, gee, it's so many new suburbs up that way. South Morang, is that? Yeah, I think that's up the top end of Melbourne there. Seymour. Be very interested, folks. This is going to be in your water. It's going to be in your dams. It's going to be on your plants, leaves. It's going to be on you if you've been working outdoors. It's going to be on your clothes if you were doing the washing that day. It's going to be everywhere. Have you seen it? Or is this bloke the only bloke to have seen it? Did anybody else take any notice? Be very interested in your thoughts on that one, folks. If you've seen that, please take photos. Better still, get a sample of it and send it to me. voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. If you get a sample, I'll give you a PO box. Let me know and I'll get a PO box number for you and you can send it to me. Just having a bit of a look through some questions, if there are any. Oh, 5G is killing the bees. Yes, I could have not agree more with you. It says, look, I'll put this up so people can see it. I heard allegations that Bosie has ties with Raytheon. Are these allegations correct? I have absolutely no idea. I've never had anybody share anything other than I've heard allegations of with me. Nobody has ever sent me any proof. Nobody has ever asked me outside of people who generally don't like Bosie. Have I asked him? No, I haven't asked him, and I regret that because I did have the opportunity, obviously, and for whatever reason, didn't rate the question list, or I just missed it. So when Ricardo gets back and starts talking publicly again, and should he ordain to come and talk to me again, then I'll certainly ask that question. Happy to do that. Thanks to the Black Sheep. Thanks for your support, mate. All the hard work. They got the girl. Police kicked the door. Hang on, look at this. Did they, Michael? Carl, they got the girl. Police kicked the doors in, found the girl in the Northern Territory. 2 ladies got charged. Police have the girl. So this relates to that god-awful story that is coming out of the Northern Territory. Child trafficking involved at the highest levels of government up there and police. The fact that the 2 ladies concerned now are locked up. The perpetrator, I'm not sure if you haven't seen David Cole's video. Now, David Cole is also known as Lunpa. Now, I may have differences with him in a lot of different ways, but on this, we stand as one. We don't have kids trafficking and God knows what else they're doing to them. It does seem like there is some very strong evidence pointing to the Northern Territory government, the Northern Territory top end of the Northern Territory Police Force, military involved, all sorts of different things. If you're not familiar with the story, I tell you what I'll do. I will. I hesitate to play any of this to you here, but there are 2 videos that Lunpa has released. And right now, I will post the first one in the chat. And if you would like, you can go and check that out. And I think you'll find something pretty interesting going on there. Oh, it looks like we've broken down with the bloody internet, have we? Let me change. Right, back again. Sorry about that. Looks like we were having a bit of a glitch with life, the universe, and everything when it comes to the internet. Must be getting close to 8 o'clock, is it? Seems to be. Yeah, there you go. 8 o'clock. 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, they start screwing with me. That's how it works. Okay, so I'm just posting up in the chat now again. the first link to the first video from Lunpa, and I will put up the second link if you would so desire. There's some noise there. Oh, all right. I should post the second one with a warning. The second one is David Cole's arrested video from the 13th of August. I will post that as well, so you have some context. That's all posted up in the chats there, folks, if you're interested at all in following that. Now, can I also tell you that I hope to speak to somebody in the near future about a website that is pretty staggering. Now, I received this in an email, a link to this website in an email about a week ago, and I have on a daily basis gone back here and had a look at something new every day. Now, the website I'm going to give you, I won't post it because not everybody sees it on all the channels. So I will tell you, it's not hard to remember and very easy to type in. So the website I'm going to tell you to go to is howbad.info. Now, just be aware. I haven't been through everything yet. There are quite a number of areas of interest, if you like, that you might want to delve into. This is what you'll find if you go to howbad.info. Across the top, a huge menu. Click on anything there and you'll be able to go into and drill down into. But if you want to just read some of the headings here. Now, these are leaked and freedom of information requests. Now, I've looked through some of these, certainly not all, but I would encourage you folks to be my eyes and ears on this if you want to go and help us. This is an intel dump of amazing proportions, and I am actually hoping to contact, I've sent an email, he hasn't sent anything back yet, from the creator of it, a guy called Craig Pardunka or something like that. Pardunka. I think he's from the Netherlands. At any rate, hopefully he will educate me on how to pronounce his name correctly, because there's nothing worse than getting the guy's name wrong. I'm just going to call him Craig. But as you can see, there is some stunning things here. You can click on, that is the EMA leaks page. Okay, you want to look at RNA information. There is the information they don't want us to see about RNA toxicity. Clusters, they'd be the headaches and everything else. Well, you can see that batches, clusters, alphanumerically into specific ranges of toxicity, and these ranges decrease linearly as one ascends the alphabet. So there are examples to let you figure out how to read all this. I can tell you, folks, there is some mind-blowing stuff in here. There's a whistleblowers page. So there's a a whistleblower from the Moderna manufacturing company, Pfizer. There's a bunch of information from Project Veritas in here too, that they have been involved with. I have on another page on a browser I can't show you. I'm looking at the lies they've told us about the deaths, particularly in the UK. But this is deeply interesting information if you are of a researching kind of mind. This is all about the batches, folks. How bad was the batch that you got or your friends? So, yeah, how bad is mybatch.com is also not another bad site worth going to. And I'll just have a bit of a look. Yeah. So it has headlines like babies, increased infection following vaccination of children, breaking hearts, cardiac damage, elevated tryptophan following the jabby. Babies of vaccinated mothers suffering from immunity deficiencies. Bone malformation observed in babies of jabbed mothers. Adverse reactions in children. The 1-2 punch of the jabby jab. Higher toxicity of a second dose is hurting our adolescents. All sorts of bloody, some amazingly horrifying stuff is available to have a look through there, folks. And I can't read it all. So if you want to help, love to help. And if you want to find some highlighted bits and send them to me, then I'm very much up for that too. So once again, if you haven't already written it down or jabbed it into another browser window, howbad.info. Go your hardest, because my God, there's some shit in there. Gender effects, video of gender effects, the VAERS data for men and women by symptom. That's of the 18th, from the 18th of June, 2021. Case reports, different countries, different states, casualty listings, symptoms, paralysis, first and second dose breakdowns. It's all there. Howbad.info. So can't get into that, folks. Is it graphic? Look, I haven't looked at it all. I haven't seen anything that I can't live with yet that I would tell you need to be careful of. I have not seen anything. I haven't seen a drop of blood. This is clinical stuff. They don't like that. So no, these are reports, but certainly I haven't watched any videos. If there are those sorts of things in there, and hey, look, there could be. So everything I offer you through this website, I offer with an all care, no responsibility tag from my perspective. We are adults. We get to make our own choices in this, folks. If you choose to follow that path, that is your choice, and the consequences of that path are yours to deal with. We'll be here to support you 100%. So I've not seen anything, and I would warn you, of course, if I felt there was anything graphic, even basically graphic, I would warn you. But I have not seen anything, but I put a little star and asterisk beside that, and I say I haven't seen everything in there yet. So I get caught up in the reading of the death numbers, all that sort of stuff, and how it actually explains how they're doing the cheat. So, it's extremely detailed stuff, folks. Howbad.info is the webpage name. Let me have a bit of a look, see if there's any more questions. Hello, Tanya. Nice to see you in. You're late tonight. I don't know, Paul. I don't know. There's probably, by the looks of it, about a bit over 1,000 people streaming. So not everybody's watching Netflix. I haven't watched Netflix in I don't know how. I'm still paying for it. Bloody idiot. So when I get off tonight, I'm going to remove myself from Netflix. No point in paying for it if I'm not watching it. I'm finding myself unable at the moment to remove myself from Amazon Prime. I'm waiting for the next series of Jeremy Clarkson's farm thing, because I just thought the last one was brilliant. So, folks, if you could, thank you for liking and subscribing. Please give the show a like. Let people know what's going on. If you missed the show night before last, that one apparently has been a bit of a kicker. A lot of people are very surprised about some of the things that are floating around in the oceans, and or at least maybe not floating, just at the bottom of the oceans around Australia and around the world. And there are all sorts of people at the moment scouring Google Earth at the moment, which I think is fabulous, following tracks. Svalbard, is that how you say it? Svalbard in Iceland. Go and have a look around Iceland, and particularly in the northern parts of Iceland, off the northern parts of Svalbard in Iceland. Some very interesting rock formations. All right, let's see what else we got going on here with questions. 1.6 million doses per batch, apparently. Okay, there you go. I think those batch numbers, I believe there was a 1, 2, 3 sort of thing worked out with how they were going to work out the placebos in those batches. I've got to go back through my notes and try and figure that out. I'm sorry, I'm reading this and I'm being very rude. Indra, bossy on a US carrier. On a deck, video on mainstream media. Be no bossy. I'd like you to post that link somewhere, Indira, if you would. I'd be very interested in having a look at that. So, yeah, folks, if you can help, that'd be great. Smash the like button. Please share it. I think I'm shadow banned beyond all existence on this thing. We've been on the Nun 2K channel, which has got the most members, if you like. We've been sitting at 9,000 for like, I don't know, a month and a half. And it's just very weird that it hasn't grown very much. The other channels are picking up. So I think collectively there's probably a group of about 20 odd thousand that are watching across the various channels. For all I know, you're all subscribed to various channels and there's only, 9,030 of us. But if that is the case, then bloody great to have you with us. And thank you for bearing with me through all the technical difficulties and associated other crap that has been going on. I do see Redneck Rumbler. Oh, you're back tonight, Redleg. You really miss Ricardo. Well, I'm hopeful. I'm going to. Oh, okay. Wallangarra. I was just about to go. Okay, Wallangarra and Sydney. I'm coming to town next month. Now, the plan was, as you all know, that we were going to go to the launch of the Wallangarra Hotel on the 1st of September. Now, I can tell you, the big man, Billy Moore, the Queenslander, comes from Wallangarra, and we sort of, I wasn't going to be able to drag him there because, footy finals, all that kind of thing. He's an important man and has a lovely restaurant he needs to look after. But it turns out I was talking to Kerry today, and officialdom have stepped in. They won't allow her to open on the 1st of September, mainly because the pub's been closed for 9 years, and it may require a bit of an update in its fire safety plan. That might also include an update in I don't know, sprinkler systems, if it has one, that kind of thing. I don't know. So, at any rate, it requires a large company who does fire systems to come through, do an audit, make the thing safe. Then it requires the fire brigade to come through and give their tick of approval. And then when the fire brigade has ticked their tick of approval, then somebody from the council has to come through and wave their hand over it. And magically, everything will be okay. But I do agree it probably is better that we don't turn up and invade her pub in great numbers, and then we all get barbecued on night one. That's not a good look for the town. So, unfortunately, Wallangarra September 1st looks to be off, but Wallangarra in October, she laughed at me. She said, yes, we're going to open in October, I hope. And then she said, but you're going to be locked down in October? Now, Kerry might be a lady who knows something. So, yeah, she seems to think she's picking October. And there's certainly a lot of interesting intel to suggest she is right on the money. Having a bit of a glance down here, Wallangarra, yes, I've said we're not going to Wallangarra, but we are going to Singleton. So, many of you will know the Cali Hotel in Singleton. Cali's had a few issues with paint on its roof. And there are a few other folks in town who've had a few issues. In fact, one of the other big issues that they had in town was that the council had banned anybody who was unjabby-jabbed from entering the council showgrounds. Unfortunately, that was where the camping area was for caravanners and tenters who were getting around town. Quite often, showgrounds have free or at least very cheap camping facilities at showgrounds for folks who are tourists and travelling through. Well, they banned everybody like that who hadn't been fully joint to be able to stay there. So the community rose up and said, we're not having it. And they protested, they rang, they called, they knocked, they screamed, they yelled, they kicked. And the whole time the council was saying, no, we're not changing. That's how it's going to be. The owner of or the at least manager of the showgrounds was adamant that there was going to be no changes and bad luck. Anybody who's not fully jabby-jabbed is not welcome, not going to be able to stay on your bike, off with you. And then miraculously, apparently, there was a change. The people protested, they screamed, they ranted, they raved, they wrote letters, they probably went to the council offices, they probably went to the showground office. But I'm going to find out exactly what they did do, because at the end of the day, it worked. One day, everybody turned up at the showgrounds, and the signs that said if you hadn't been fully stuck up, then you couldn't come in, had been painted over, and not painted over by any protester, but painted over by council and the bloke running the showgrounds. All of a sudden, people who were unjabby-jabbed were welcome back again, and that was only due to the actions of the people of Singleton. That is the power of a community, folks. Their council backed down. Well, briefly. Then their council started going after other things like tiny homes. There's a couple of folks, professional people in Singleton, who have recognised the housing crisis that is befolding most of Australia at the moment. They had the resources and the land to put 2 tiny homes on a property that would be generous in any other sense if you were putting any kind of home block there. And council found this out and have issued all sorts of threats and demands. They're full of bluster and full of vigour and vim. And if people don't jump to and do as the council demands and insists and law this and legal that, then those houses will be destroyed, not removed, because they're on bloody wheels. They'll be destroyed. Well, we can tell you, folks, they are not going to be destroyed. And there are a lot of motivated people to become Knights of Terra Australis in Singleton. So we're going to be in Singleton from September the 5th through to September the 9th. So on the 5th, the Monday night, we'll do a regular 7:30 show with Fitz and the people of Singleton who've been affected by this latest tyranny. Then, because there is so much interest in Singleton, they've asked us to stay around and do some education. So if you're in the Singleton area, we are going to be at the Cali doing a lot of education over the following 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there will be 2 sessions of Magna Carta learning, intense learning. And you only need to attend 1 session a day, but we understand that there are a lot of people in that area who do shift work, and it may not be possible for them to attend a night only show or a night only event. So we've decided we'll do 2 a day. We'll do one between 1 and 3 p.m. on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'll be the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And we will do the same show again for people who can't get to the earlier one at 7:30 at night through till 9:30. Now, those will not be live on the shows here, folks. I'll still do a show on those nights, and it'll be different to Magna Carta and nothing more than likely to do with the learning. I do hope to get a few vox pops from people around the area and get their thoughts and feelings on what's really going on in the world, but we'll see what transpires. But yes, if you want to be part of our Magna Carta 1215 Learning Centre, and if you like our first class, then be prepared. 2 hours a day, either at 1 till 3 or 7:30 till 9:30 p.m. at the Cali Hotel, and we will be educating you. And by Thursday, you will be taking the Magna Carta 1215 oath. That will put you under oath and allow you to start distributing notices. Now, those notices are what we're going to teach you on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. We will give you all the power and understanding to know how to deal with these people and how to keep pushing and propagating this even when they try and bluff you out of it. So if you want to become a Knight of Terra Australis, that'll give you an idea of what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to take the oath. And to take the oath, you've got to understand it. And that requires a little bit of education. May I commend to you going back to Lesson 1 of the Magna Carta 1215 Learning Centre and starting from there. It's all about how it works inside here for you. It's intent. It's nothing like a jury that you imagine today, but what we are aiming to teach you is the skills to become a trial by jury juror. That means when we've got enough jurors, we can start having trials by jury, because we can hold a court with people who are educated enough to understand how it works and what's required of them to give a just and lawful verdict. It'll also help people who have problems to deal with that might require adjudication, because, of course, a trial by jury is absolutely free, no cost. So looking forward to that. If you want to come, get in contact with the Cali and tell them that you're going to be there. I'm not sure how many spaces there are or how big the pub is, how many seats there's going to be, but I'm sure if you give them a call, they'll let you know. And Cherie is the lady looking after much of what's going on there, but Brad is the fella who owns the pub. Just give them a call, let them know that you're coming. We're trying to get a bit of an idea of numbers so we can have a seat for everybody, and there will be a lot of paperwork, which I will try and condense and give everybody a USB key to take home with, if I can find somebody who sells cheap USBs. Otherwise, everybody who comes, please bring a USB stick with you, and we will might be able to format it in either way, Mac or Windows, just depending on how many computers I can fit in the car. It's probably the best way. Bring your own USB stick, because you'll be able to download a great many things from those 2-hour lessons on the Tuesday, the 6th, Wednesday, the 7th, Thursday, the 8th of September at the Cali in Singleton. Now, that would get us to Friday, and Friday is going to be another Friday free-for-all. Guru and his lovely bride are going to be coming up from Wollongong for the night, so no show without punch. So we're looking forward to having him come up. There'll be a little bit of musical entertainment. We're aiming for 2. In fact, there is a great man who tells very funny jokes. I'm not going to tell you his name, but I am going to ask him whether or not he'd like to join us live for that as well. I mean, he may not be able to join us live, but we'll put him up on a big screen. And I hear he's not a bad guitarist either. He might be able to sing us a song. If I know him, it'll probably give us a bit of a laugh as well. So that's going to be a pretty big night, Friday the 9th at the Cali in Singleton. The Friday free-for-all, Guru coming to town, and a whole heap of other things. The Galactic Larrikins will be there, or at least, I'm sure one will be, and the dog, Neo. Bradford is certainly coming. He's going to be looking after the technical side of things, because he's a magnificent man and we appreciate him. I think Mark might be turning up too. And Rob, well, I think Rob, every potential, he might have to work. Let's face it, we've all got to do that from time to time. I'm just having a little bit of a glance down here to see if there are some questions. How much for a sticker pack? Okay. Well, look, I do have, and I haven't got them I am such an idiot. I got them out to bring them in and show you, and it's just too difficult. I'm actually wedged in here behind this bloody screen. To get out of here is a real pain in the ass, so I can't. I will do a thing tomorrow morning, maybe later tonight. I'll go and get them, and I'll just record it and put it up so you can see what they are. But I can tell you that I am like really, really, really impressed with that sticker. It looks awesome. I've put one on my car already. I've put one on my laptop. I'm going to put one on my iPad. It just looks awesome. I love it. So, unfortunately, they are rather expensive to print. But anyway, they're not going to be a fortune to buy. Like I said, this isn't about making money, but we would like to be able to afford another run of them. So we've got to at least be able to make back what we put into them, because trust me, you're going to want another one. And then, of course, there are the Knights of Terror Australis ones, which will be coming as well. but only to those people who qualify as a Knight of Terra Australis. And we want you to come and join us, folks. We really want you to come and join us. So these learning centres can happen anywhere. We can come to your town. If there is enough of you, we will come to your town and we will do this 3-day thing. And at the end of it, you will all be qualified, you'll all be under oath, and you will be leaders in your community, able to help people through the process going forward. The more people in your community that takes the process, the more change is going to be affected, the faster it will be affected. That's how this works, folks. People, we need to come together. And when we come together, we rise together peacefully and fix this. It's how it has to be. How do you get involved? Stephanie, I'm not sure where you are, but I'm happy to travel anywhere in the country to do a show. We're trying to put together a bit of a run at the moment, but we're also trying to raise money to do that run in something other than a Hyundai Tucson that's filled with equipment. Makes it pretty hard to sleep in the car. So we're looking to try and buy, I don't know, caravan, motorhome, bus, anything that gets us around the country, can haul all our gear around, and can give us a platform to come to your town. If you've got a business and you want a TV commercial made, we'll make you one. You want a radio commercial made, I'll make you one. There on the spot. We'll charge you a few bucks for it, because we're not going to charge you a fortune for it, but it's, how we can help fund our way to the next city, the next town, the next cook-up, the next camp kitchen, the next event. And it's the only way we can do it. And if you want to help, we would love to have you on board. In fact, there are a lot of people who have already said they're going to put their caravans on the back or get their motorhome out of the shed, and they're going to come on the road with us. So it's likely to be a little troop that hits the road, and I can't wait for that to happen. And when that happens, folks, my show is going to change ever so slightly, but my plan is to start doing a live breakfast show from wherever we are, and show you some beautiful parts of Australia, hopefully get some local stories, and not make it all this deep shit. I want to make it about community. If we're going to build a community, we've got to know something about the community, yeah? So I want to come to your community. I want to learn about it. I want to bring it all together, see if we can expose it to the rest of our community here, which, isn't big. I mean, I'm no Aussie Cossack. I don't have 175,000 followers. I've got, as best as YouTube will tell me, 9,000. So, and I'm happy. That's great. The only reason I think about followers is the more we have, the bigger our community, the more places we can go, the more people we've got to share the message. So that's all this is about, folks. Please like and share us. That's how you get involved. If you've got a community you want us to come to, we will come to it. Now, I can't say we'll come to it next week. In fact, I can't say we'll come to it any time in September. And I've got to be honest, October's looking a bit full now too. October, there's definitely going to be a trip to Melbourne. October, there is more than likely going to be a trip north to Cairns and Townsville. Hopefully, Mackay will be involved there too. And for the folks in Rocky, I've lost your phone number. I'm a dick, and I can't find you in my emails. So give me a call. There were some folks in Yimpoon and Rocky who wanted to have a show there. So I'd like to do maybe a week where we go north and do Rocky one night, Mackay the next night, Townsville the next night, and Cairns the night after that. I can come back down the inland road if there's folks in Mount Isa, or in Barcaldine, in Emerald, Billawheeler, anywhere out that part of the world. Happy to come down, do a show. If that's what you want, more than happy to come. Just let me know. Voice of Freedom at Gmail, or voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. And if you want to help us put another couple of litres in the car for fuel so that we can get around, then you can go to vofhq.com. There's a donate button there. The landing page, I think, is still up at the moment, but still operable. And very shortly, all that will morph into our new homepage, and then it'll be up to me to try and populate that with something. So, but it won't just be me. You'll be able to find Guru on there too. He'll have a page of his own. We might even see if we can't organise a few other pages. There will certainly be one for the Knights of Terra Australis, and there'll be one for the Magna Carta Learning Centre. There'll be some Intel sites that we'll give you access to, and a bit of other stuff. So hopefully you'll come and join us. Hopefully it's a community you want to be part of. And while I'm happy to stand here and show you things, I'm also happy for you to show me things. It doesn't work any other way, actually. You are the eyes and ears of the Voice of Freedom. Without you telling me what's going on, I can't tell anybody else. So please, if you see something weird, take a photo of it, take the time, take the date, and email it. Tell us the story behind it. If you've heard something that doesn't seem right, if your local council, and boy, am I hearing some interesting stories about local councils up north, let us know. We're very keen. Yes, Redneck, happy to come up there, although I abused you the other night. I'm a bit worried if you're in Mount Isa, I might wind up somewhere down the bottom of deep bloody mine drive. I hope not. I have a Mason, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll let you folks figure out what that means. So yeah, happy to go anywhere. Mount Isa to the moon. I don't mind. Although somebody's going to have to really pay a lot of fuel money if I'm going to the moon. Okay, there are 60 people on a channel that I'm asking questions that I'm not seeing. Okay, well, that's a bit rude, isn't it? Give me one moment here, because I was going to let everybody go. I've been talking for an age. Let me just see if I can bring up the Non-2K channel on a different machine. I didn't want to tax the, pathetic bloody and absolutely awful connection that I had for, I think we'll go for that one, the awful connection that I had by throwing in another computer on it tonight, but we'll give it a go here. See what happens. Let's restore a few of these channels. I'm sorry, I'm just getting it to my channel so I can get it to do what it's doing. Okay, that one. Oh, well, it's a bit slow loading up, so I do apologize for that. I will have to, it's grinding away. I don't think it's going to play the game on me. Look, if you have a question that I haven't answered or seen, then email it to me, and I will do a question and answer session in the morning. I'll just record it and put it up. So voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. Email me your question, please, and I will maybe even do it later tonight, and just stick it up on the site so you'll get a notification that it's gone up. Yeah, going to try and join Rumble. So I paid my registration fee to Rumble a month ago, and got the receipt for it today. So maybe now I can actually stream to Rumble, but I haven't had the opportunity to check it out. Aaron, new tattoo. Aaron, if you are referring to a new tattoo that looks like that, then make it 2. I'm going to have it 2. So, and if you're anywhere on the North Coast, there is a good dear friend of mine who is a magnificent tattooist or artiste, and I'm going to see whether or not she would be interested in doing those. So if there's a group that want to get the Magna Carta Knight, whose name will not be Trevor, as much as I want it to be, then yes, we can arrange that. Absolutely. Very keen. I only have 2 tattoos, and one of them I did myself, so you can imagine how good that was. But you will do stupid things when you're young and going to boarding school. The peasants' resistance is the way we win. Adam, I like the way you're saying that. No pitchforks, but we will win. Absolutely, we will win. Long live the Aussie Cossack. I have no update on the Aussie Cossack other than he's living a good life in the cell that they've given him with ability to walk around a bit and meet other people. I haven't heard anything from Mrs. Cossack in a little while, but then again, I haven't contacted her. I know they are working very heavily on plans for his release. His next scheduled hearing is the 13th of September, and that's part of the reason I'm going to Sydney after Singleton. So that'll be the 13th of September. The Cossack won't appear in the court, but should he be released, he would be paroled, and I doubt he would be allowed to speak or conduct any kind of social media until the end of the sentence, which would mean you're not likely to see or hear from him in the way we're used to seeing him until after November 26. But that doesn't mean you won't hear a lot more from Mrs. Cossack in time or somebody around him. We'll just see. I'm really looking forward to him getting out and having a chat and well, apparently he's lost a heap of weight. Please God, don't make me have to go to jail to lose weight. I don't want that. I don't need that. I'm sure there are other ways. And maybe this new breakfast show idea when we're on the road could be a walking show. How many of us want to go walking in the morning? I mean, I see people go out walking every morning, walking along the rivers here, everywhere. I always think, God, they're wonderful folks doing a fabulous job, but I never think of going out and joining them. Well, maybe I should because I got to do something about the size of me, that's for sure. And if we're going to talk, we may as well talk and walk. You can hear how badly unfit I am. That'll be great. What else is going on in the chat here? ASIO are in the chat trying to start trouble. Yeah. Oh, well, wouldn't be the first time. They're all a bit of fun. Tassie, yes, Rob T. We want to go to Tassie. There's a small group down south who want me to come to Tassie. There is another group in the middle of Tasmania who want me to come to Tassie, and there's another group at the top end of Tassie who want me to come to Tassie. So Tassie being the size of Tassie, I reckon there's a good chance we're going to do 2 out of 3 of those, if not all 3. It's just a matter of where, when, and how. I need to talk with my Tasmanian contacts, but if you have access to a room, or that's all we're really looking for. We need a room, we need a PA, we need a projector and a screen. That's about it. Unless I come down in my car bringing all my gear, in which case we just need a room. But if I come down in the car, that means a boat ride, which personally I would absolutely love, but I believe it's very, 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 very long bookings, very long standing or waiting time to get bookings to do the crossing. So it might have to be that it's a plane flight down in a week in a hire car, driving around doing the job. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. I would love to come to Tasmania. I've never been there. I have some magnificent friends around the Launceston area. I have some other magnificent friends around the Hobart area. So somewhere in the interior, I'm sure we'll find other friends. I'm really looking forward, or maybe around the outside. There are some pretty nice lobster places, I'm led to believe, to go and check out around Tasmania. Wouldn't mind that at all. All right, scanning. God, gee, there's a lot of comments in here. Maybe with the comments, the way that this system works that I use, because I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 channels tonight. It might take a little while for all the comments from the different areas to come together. I'm surmising. I'm just guessing. But not trying to make excuses, just trying to maybe offer up a reason. The fake news channel hate you, Steve Ross. Well, they probably hate me too. Have faith. Thank you for your blessing. I really appreciate that. That's great. Thank you. Every little bit helps, and there you go. Another 2.5 liters into the car. We love that. We are winning, brothers and sisters. What are you saying here, Sudsy? We are winning, brothers and sisters. Believe me, our enemies are feeling the heat. Keep holding the line. I could not agree more with you. There is evidence of it just about every day. Any news on Ripcord, Margot wants to know. No, I don't expect that there will be any news on Ripcord until the 28th at the earliest. What date are we? 25. Yeah, I don't expect anything on Ripcord until the 28th at the earliest. That's not saying it's going to start then, but I don't believe that Ripcord is going to start before then. But when it starts, it will be public, and a lot of people that we know and love will poke their little heads up in that. It will be a very great day. Can't wait for it. Aaron, so yeah, the Magna Carta pictures, that's what you're referring to. Cool. You'll have to buy a sticker so you can give it to your tattooist, mate. That's all. So we can copy it. That'll be the best bet. No. Megs, thank you. No, my tattoos are not, one of them is not a Ninja Turtle on the butt cheek. In fact, the very bad tattoo done with a sewing needle wrapped in cotton and dipped in Indian ink was done through a drawn-on Bic pen, if memory serves, lightning bolt on my leg, and only a little tiny one. That, at the time, I think I was in year 10, maybe, year 9, maybe. At the time was told, oh, it'll grow out in 4 years. And I believed him. Still got it. Still looks shit house. Still just as dark as it was the day it was done, funnily enough, or maybe that's just might be my lily white legs. But no, I have another one here on this shoulder, which I had done with my daughter, who had been wanting a tattoo from the time she was 12 or 13, and I refused. Her mother refused. Which was good because we lived 2 states apart, so that was about the only thing we'd agreed on in 10 years. And the day of her 18th birthday, I surprised her by turning up in the little country town in Victoria that she lived in, unexpectedly, and took her out and we got a tattoo together. So she got the one that and it was the same tattoo that she'd wanted from the day she was 13, and I got this thing that a wizard, which whole other story. Yeah, remember that thing about choices and decisions we make and consequences to those decisions? Color was a decision I made a bad error with. One day when I'm not wearing a long sleeve thing, I'll show you what's left of Kai Thanyan, I think we wound up calling it. Anyway, UFO disclosure is coming. My thoughts. Well, if UFO disclosure is coming, I'm all up for it. There is certainly a lot of there's a lot of chatter about the acknowledgement, the broad acknowledgement now of things flying around in our skies that we're not aware of. We are now hearing much more detailed analysis of, what's being described as a plasma bucket that these objects are floating inside of. And this plasma field, this plasma bucket allows or is a damper for any kind of effect of gravity. So, and inertia. Apparently it creates a stasis where everything inside that plasma field is just like sitting where you are now. Everything outside of it rushes past at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And even when you stop, you don't feel that inertia, the change of direction. You don't feel that thing. And that's why these things can instantly go from 0 to, 1,000,000,000 miles an hour in a blink of an eye, or essentially look like they just disappear. So we're getting a lot more detailed analysis of that coming out, a lot more explanation of it. So what do you say? Look, yes, all I can say is yes, I think that there is more of it coming out. Will it play a role in what's coming forward? Yes, I think it will. But what sort of a role, I don't know. Kev, that's big of you, mate. Thank you. What a marvellous man. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to go and check this guy out, Australian Survival Instructors. Now, he has one vacancy left in his forging course that's happening on the 3rd and 4th of September. That one vacancy is me. Because of what I've got coming up in the following week, it's going to be very difficult to complete what I want to complete here with Australian Survival Instructors at the Forge. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be honest with you, mate. This is the absolute truth of it. When I was in Hervey Bay, a fella came up to me and said, "So you're going to go and do the forging course, are you, down the South Coast?" I said, "Yes, yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to it." And he shook my hand, and he was a big fella, but his hand was very rough, very hard, very strong, a manly man's hand, and felt like a tree. And as he's shaking my hand, he said, I've done a bit of smithing. He said, "You're going to develop muscles in places you didn't know you could get muscles, like the back of your hand, your forearm, your shoulder, and your back from swinging the hammer." I said, "Oh, yeah, okay." And he said, "And you've got none of them," shaking my hand like it was a rag. So I got to thinking about that. And even if what he said is half true, I can't be incapacitated going into a big week in Singleton. So essentially, I'm going to find it very difficult to come and do that course. So I apologise, mate. But that doesn't mean I'm not coming for the next one. I just need to arrange my life a bit better for the recovery phase and start practicing hitting an anvil, maybe. I don't know. I've got to do something to get the hand ready for this. Yeah, maybe I didn't think it through, and that was part of the joke you were going to play on me, you bastard. But anyway, love your work, and thank you very much for your very kind donation, mate. That's really big of you. I can't recommend Australian Survival Instructors enough, folks. Go and check them out online. I've got an interview that is in the library here. They don't just do forging weekends. In fact, they do survival courses from day-long basic courses to 4-day-long and even longer, I think, at different times. They've got some of the best instructors in the country. And if you're wanting to learn a little bit about being able to survive off-grid, how to be able to feed yourself, keep warm and keep covered, then this is a course you really need to do. And I would highly recommend you go and check them out. That's Australian Survival Instructors. They're down on the Central Coast, New South Wales, and, South Central Coast. I don't know. I haven't been there yet, It's out in the bush, a lot of trees, not much mobile phone reception. There's a river. You'll be able to fish. So there you go. That's about all I can tell you about it at the moment. All right, folks, I've been going for, an hour, nearly an hour and a half again. I don't mean to do that to you. I'm so sorry. I really did try and do it for just an hour tonight. Cloaked ships hidden in the clouds. They jump, light, time, Planck's constant, Megs. Look at me. Look. You're just talking my Star Trek language, girl. I'm just so impressed. That would be absolutely great. I also think there is probably a few more of them hidden under the sea than we are probably aware of. Yep, if people aren't aware, that's a very good thing to go researching Project Bluebeam. You'll find all sorts of interesting little things there. Adam, yes, well, I dare say there's going to be a few of those prime suspects found dead, but it won't be at Ripcord's hand. Ripcord are there to make sure that we see what happens. Bring on disclosure. What's Vicky saying here? Yep, we have been lied to forever. Galactic beings are all around us. I believe it. Benevolent ones are cheering us on. I think they're doing better than that. I think they're actually helping us. So that makes you and I both nutters. God love us, Vicky. That's all I'll tell you. I mean, I'd love to. It's just a fantasy. I can't believe that we are here in this whole great big bloody universe and we're all that's it. I can't logically come to terms with that very thought. So anyway, somebody here who asked me, I'll scroll past something pretty quick that said, why only an hour? Okay, why only an hour? Well, I know that you folks are busy. You've got your own lives. You've got things to go and do. So, and look, trying to keep your attention on anything that's coming out of my gob for more than an hour is a bloody good effort, I would have thought. So that's really why I say only an hour, but I'm capable of talking for 6 hours straight with a good drink and maybe a toilet break. Although you're only seeing the lower half of me, I could just bring in a bottle, I guess. Too much information? Sorry. All right. You can see it's been a long day. Longer the better, says Sarah. I appreciate that, Sarah. Aliens are not our friends. I agree, not all of them, but I don't believe all of them are bad. Oh, yes, Indra, we can talk about the Vril. Absolutely. In fact, I will say one thing. Where was that? Aliens are demons. Yes, there is an element of that. Vril. There we go. Yesterday, I was speaking with some people who, up until the jabbity jab thing happened, then they weren't good neighbours anymore. They were not really close friends anymore. But at one point, the neighbours were met out in the street, doing a bit of work, mowing the lawn, doing whatever. And these people that I know wandered over to say hello, to see how everything was going. And when the neighbour turned around, apparently it was quite clear that he had reptilian-shaped eyes. Just saying. Now, I've seen those contact lenses too, but I don't know. Don't know if it's always been contact lenses that are doing that. It's not the first time I've heard people say just that. And Vril, look up Vril and see what you get with that. And then try and put that together with what I've just told you. Deborah, is that the only reason you're listening? Wow. Okay. If that's what brings you to the show, then I'm glad for it. And thank you. I'm very flattered that you think so. It's just a voice. You've got one too. And it's just as good as mine. It's just as loud as mine. And when we put your voice with my voice, we get two voices. And when we put all our voices together, we get a chorus of 20,000+ people. Let's hope. I don't know. Let's say somewhere between 9 and 20,000 people. And it's going to be a bit louder. Hopefully we get the Aussie Cossack involved and get his 175,000 voices involved. That would be absolutely wonderful. We get gurus following involved. It'll be wonderful. The more voices, the better. If they're sexy, great. If they're not, great. Just the more voices, the better. So thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate it. And, I've been using it to make money for the last 25 years, so I suppose I'm doing something right with it. Okay, folks, what I do have to do is go and give it a rest. I didn't bring me raspberry cordial in tonight, so I'm about to lose my voice. So I'd like to love you and leave you. I haven't seen anything there. I seem to have started an interesting conversation with aliens, though. So away you go with that. Oh, look, there is it's a bit long to play. I'll save that for tomorrow. There has been an interesting edit of Boris video come up. He was addressing the UN and he's basically patting them all on the back for being the bastards that they are. But it's a little long, so I won't bother with it tonight. We'll do it again another night. I'm glad, Jules, that you think it's been an interesting show. I'm pleased. I would recommend to you folks, if you've only tuned in late and you want to go and get in on this research game and have a look at, well, what is a staggering amount of information, howbad.info, howbad.info, and click on anything you like there and dive in deep. I mean, I'm looking at a page here at the moment that has broken down deaths into lots, batch number lots. So I've had 58 adverse reactions, 3 deaths, 17 disabilities, 4 life-threatening. Percentage of severe reports, 41% of, wow. So, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see, those kind of breakdowns. And I don't know because I've never been in, but if people know their batch number, we can check it. I don't know that you want to give them the news Don't know that'd be news you'd want to pass on. Oh, congratulations. You got the hot batch. But yeah, pretty wild stuff. All right, folks, thank you again for your help tonight. If you want to help support us, VoFHQ.com, there is a donate button there. Anything you can do to help us, that'd be great. Sydney, look out, we're coming. If you want us to come and do a show in Sydney, and I know people do, I don't think the Rudy Hill RSL room is going to happen. I mean, from memory, I've only done one show there. And when I say I did it, I stood behind the curtain and floor managed it. I think it's about 1,000-seat room. I think the Premiers, the Panthers Club, is also about 1,000 seat. Look, I don't know that that's realistic, but if there are groups in Sydney that want to get together and we can get you all into one place at one time, I would love to come and do a show in Sydney. I know that there is a group down south, Shell Harbour, Nowra, Wollongong, that sort of area. They want me to come down there too. Happy to do that too. So we're going to be in Sydney 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. I'll probably have to leave on the 14th to get back up to Queensland because the next 2 weeks I'm going to be doing breakfast radio again, which is great. Nice to get my finger back in the radio game. But yeah, that'll be the plan. So come to Sydney after Singleton, can do a couple of shows. Definitely going to be approaching Ricardo to see if we can sit down and have a chat. Now, whether that's a live show that other people can attend or whether it's just something we do during the day sometime remains to be seen. But I'm putting that request forward, and hopefully he will make a little bit of time available. Doesn't have to be an hour, but if we can get 5 minutes with him, that'd be great. And see what's going on. That's the plan for September. So if you've got any ideas about where we can hold a show, and my idea is go to a pub that has a room. See if they do meals. How many meals would a pub like that ordinarily expect to do on a Monday night or a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night? And, tell them, well, we're going to bring a couple of hundred people. Maybe we'll bring more, maybe not everybody will eat, but certainly everybody will have a drink. We can improve your take on the night, and all you got to do is turn the lights on. We'll bring everything else. So maybe you can do a deal like that where they don't charge you for the room, or at least charge a very small fee for the room, and go from there. We're just not in a position to hire rooms, folks. If I would feel bad about using the money that's being put forward to hire a room from a local council or something like that. Maybe if you're part of a church group, you've got a church hall or something like that. I don't know. Be creative. Think of options. Nobody said we've got to be staying at the best clubs and pubs. We just need somewhere that's out of the rain, out of the weather, has power, and is reasonably close to a mobile phone cell tower. So that's about the only thing we're looking for. But if you've got an area like that where we could come, then please let us know. voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. And those dates in Sydney again from the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Probably have to drive home on the 14th, so maybe just the 13th. We'll see what happens. Thanks again, folks, for your support. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'll have another show for you again tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Friday, so it'll be a free-for-all. Yeah, okay, we'll see what happens. I've got a few bits and pieces. I've actually got to do some radio stuff tomorrow afternoon, so and pack up a house. It's going to be a busy few days, so we'll see what we wind up coming up with for tomorrow night yet. Until then, please stay safe if you are on the roads. Don't be one of the dickheads that I ran into the other night coming back from the Gold Coast. Please, God, don't be one of those dickheads. It just makes life so difficult.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!